my God, we are here. That's right. The New York Jets are playing the Buffalo Bills, and we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about a lot of things. There's a lot of things to talk about. And the real thing is, can the New York Jets beat the Buffalo Bills? Can the New York Jets beat the Buffalo Bills? We'll be right here back to talk about it right after this. Greatest co-host in the world! Watch 2K99. Get ready to rumble!
The tag team champions of the world!
My brotherly cravat!
That is the best intro I have ever received.
The world! The Buffalo Jets fan.
Yo.
George Fant is a barely above replacement level, pretty good left tackle.
How can you say
Compare
that when
that
he
to
was
an-
top 3 in sack percentage last year for left tackles?
And I think when in doubt, until you have better reason, go with the optimistic view. And our defensive line is going to be giving a lot of people some trouble.
But yeah, it's got to be. I'm with you. I don't like the Nathan's fries when they're like floppy. It's got to be like done really well. You know, it's very hard to teach 6'3" and 4.3 speed. That's very rare. The talent's there. He's just got to put it together mentally.
Right.
To get
You're a
on
cheater.
to you, I'm a cheater. And here we are. So we got Johnny G in the chat. What's up? The Improv Man is in the chat. He's right in the chat. By the way, that's Lee Cravat if you haven't figured it out yet. He likes to go by the name The Improv Man because he does improv. And I don't know why he's not up here with me. Send him the link. He doesn't check his email, or he's busy and he can't. Grandizer is here. He's a little annoyed with me or irritated because I give him no warning for these shows, and he feels this obligation to be here moderating. So he's probably like looking at his phone, and he's like, "Again, chaos? Again, another show? Yes, another show. And why the hell not?" So what is with that beard? You're talking about my current beard right now? This beard is just me not shaving for a month. But I'm actually going to, I actually have it charging right now, and I'm going to shave. So the next time you see me, I'm going to be completely bald. Lee is not the only person with stories about the train, by the way. We have stories, family stories, stories Lee did individually, stories I have individually, stories where me and Lee abandoned one of his college friends from Pittsburgh on the train. We did that. It was kind of silly now that I think about it, but we did. We waited for the doors to start closing. We both jumped off the train and left his friend there. So, I see Payo Time is here in the chat. Oh, you know what? I can highlight these things. I have that power. What's going on? Payo Time. Nice, gentle man, a gentle beast, a gentle being. He talks very soft-spoken like he's from Canada, but he really likes his Rams. Whose house? Ram's house. He's not too happy now. They're struggling a little bit, but he's got a Super Bowl ring. He's got I've been a fan for over 50 years. No Super Bowl. And he has a fresh championship under his belt. And I would think as much as I want to win each game the next season, it would last me a little bit. I'd be satisfied. My 32nd anniversary of our first date. Well, congratulations. That was right around the time I told you, if she says I love you, say ditto back to her. She did it to you. Whose house? Lamb's house. Hey, leave the Rams alone. You like pickles? I like the sweet pickles, the little gherkins, those sweet little gherkins. I do like them. They're very good, very tasty. Question: would you say Michael Carter is the lead back rest of season? Well, he's certainly the lead back tomorrow, so he has an opportunity now to really establish himself as the number one back, because James Robinson, even if he plays, he's hurt and he might not even play. So look for Michael Carter to be the lead back tomorrow. Look for him to get a lot of opportunities. If he goes over 100, which is possible against the Bills, if he goes over 100 and has a big game, that might make that could win him some favor in being the lead back. But I do think that it's, they're very admittedly a go with the hot hands team. So, on any given day, who's the lead back could switch. But I do think it's a big opportunity for Michael Carter tomorrow. What up? Actually managed to catch a live show. Yeah, good to see you, We the People. 732, you're in New Jersey, but I guess we do it late at night and stuff, and now it's just a weird time for me to just jump on and do a show. But good to see you, my friend. I appreciate the Twitter message you sent out. Don't think I forget. I see and know everything. I remember everything. And I appreciate that tweet being listed with the big boys of the YouTube content providers. It's nice to be labeled and listed with them as you being a supporter of the channel. Rob D, everyone is doubting us tomorrow. Let's see how we react to being the hunter again. Yeah, it'll be nice. It'll be nice. Less pressure, right? We're not sitting there like expecting that we have to win. We're thinking it'll be a miracle if we can win. So let's go for it. 101 ways to beat the Bills. Go. We'll talk about it. I'll always cheer on the Rams, win or lose. Haha. Of course you will. You're a true fan. Oscar Flores, what's going on? Hopefully we run the ball. Last week was weird watching. Yeah, especially because that's how you beat the Bills. You run the ball. But we got to have some balance. You need to be able to pass a little bit to help the run work. So Zach has got to be accurate, man. He's got to be accurate. We've got to set up some good plays for him. Our receivers got to cut across the middle, quickly. Quick plays, quick pass plays, do some damage, force the Bills to acknowledge we can pass against them, and then set up the run. Question: do you think I can beat Peo in a dance battle? I have no idea. Probably not, because you don't show up and Peo does. Grandizer. Don't commit stupid penalties. Yeah, no momentum killers. Well, no penalties is a good way to do it. That's one way to start. Yeah, man, we appreciate you too. Chaos, fellow Jets fans, stick it to him tomorrow. The hell yeah. So we got one. Obviously, we don't want to turn the ball over. I think we could add onto that and say, in reverse, we need to get some turnovers. The Bills have given the ball away at least once a game for the last few games. They do have a habit of giving the ball away, and we've become a better team at taking the ball away. So we definitely have to tomorrow. We need that to happen. We need to take the ball away. We need our boys to show up. And when they make a mistake, don't drop that potential interception. Catch it. Make sure you get it. J. Cole is mad at me now. He always makes it about him. I'm talking about the Jets and how to beat the Bills tomorrow. Snap out of it. Snap out of it. Yeah, you want a kiss? Mwah. There's your kiss. Now snap out of it. We're talking about how the Jets could beat the Bills tomorrow. We don't turn the ball over. We get turnovers. Turnover battle. It's a common one, but it's worth mentioning because it's important. John O'Sullivan chimes in. He says, I'd like to see Zach throw some short passes and see more of a running game. Yes, definitely. Got to have some passes, obviously. Got to do it. Right? But short passes, quick patterns. The guy who's in the slot, cut across the field, throw it. Get the ball out. Don't give him a chance. Don't give him a chance to sack you. Don't give him a chance to pressure you. And that's key. Right? So short passes to set up and help and make sure we have success in the running game. So we got turnover advantage. Let's say we need the turnover advantage. We got to get our running game going, and realistically to maintain and keep a running game going, You have to be efficient when you're doing some efficient passing just to keep the Bills honest, because if they throw every man in the box to stop the run, then you make them pay with the pass. Remember, their safeties are out. Their number one safety is out for the season. Their second best safety is out for this game. Poirier, I think his name is. So they are low on safeties. They're not going to have a lot of help. And we got some quick guys and Garrett Wilson and Denzel Mims and Elijah Moore. Let's get behind them. Berrios, all our guys are fast. Let's get behind them. Let's get some big plays if they fill the box to stop the run. Let's keep them honest. Then they back out of that box because they see we're willing to go deep and do that, and then we pound the ball whenever we can. Best way to assure that those kind of things is to get a lead, to not put ourselves in a position where we're forced to do any one thing, and to be efficient. Question, what is the one thing being a YouTuber has taught you about the Jets? Oh, being a YouTuber has taught me about the Jets. I think that being a YouTuber has taught me to look beyond what I used to as a fan, meaning looking into the future, thinking deeper about what JD is doing and what the coaching staff is doing and why. I don't think I used to think about those things as much. I used to just watch the games, and I didn't think about the deeper stuff. I would just look at the players we got and say, can we win? Can we not? I never really took it to this level of thinking about strategy and learning about the game and thinking about our backup players and depth and this and that. So that's the only thing I could say is I just became a more knowledgeable fan being a YouTuber, because I have a million people like in the chat right now, not a million, but people chatting and listening to the other YouTube content providers and listening and reading the chat and debating back and forth and following the press conferences. And suddenly you become very knowledgeable. You know everything about the team. So number 2, play disciplined ball, 3 positions of the ball. The refs are a horrible game. Don't give a reason for the refs to try and beat you. Yeah, so that's a really good point, Grandizer. So what we can't do stupid penalties, right? We can't throw away a pick 6 because of a stupid roughing the passer penalty. We can't do it. If we make a big play against the Bills and it gets called back for penalty, we're done. So the dumb penalties, we've been hurt a lot by penalties. And we easily, there's a strong possibility we would have won last week if not for that penalty. It was a destructive penalty. So playing smart, penalties, no penalties. We got to throw in Zach Wilson. No bonehead plays. Manage the game smart. Make good decisions. Decision by decision. No bonehead plays. Don't run backwards 20 yards. When the play, recognize that the play is dead, recognize there's nothing you could do, and just throw the damn thing away. Make sure the Bills' red zone trips turn into field goals. Make sure our red zone trips turn into touchdowns. So let's go one at a time on that. Our defense, bend, don't break, right? Bend, don't break. Our offense, take advantage of opportunities. Capitalize on opportunities. Find some big plays. Find the end zone. Score the touchdowns. Yeah. Look, it's like all these things have to happen. This is how you make an upset. You have to have a perfect game. You have to have just a wonderful game. Everything has to be on point. You have to make huge plays to make them settle for field goals and not let them in the end zone. You have to make a huge play or two in the red zone to get some touchdowns. You have to get turnovers. You can't turn the ball over and you can't make mistakes. And all these things are the basic things before we even talk about how we play. But Zach not making stupid decisions. We haven't even gotten to Zach just being accurate. Focus, my friend. Stay in the pocket. Get rid of the ball. Use your skill and your talent and throw an 8-yard pass to your receiver, not to the ground. Long drives keep Allen off the field. That's why we need that balanced attack with a running game. Got to eat up minutes. You're right. We can't get the ball and take a minute and 20 seconds off the clock and punt the ball back. Cannot do it. Will not win. Will not win. Cannot give Josh Allen that kind of opportunity to constantly be on the field. I agree 100%. Weed the People says, JJ's back this week. Hopefully he can get rolling. Hopefully. What's good is we got Huff playing so well. We got JFM. We got Carl Lawson. So JJ is just a bonus, right? JJ's a bonus, but I think, one of the reasons they traded Martin is they're confident that JJ's going to come back strong. And let's see what he can do. Be beautiful if he got a sack tomorrow. JJ is important against a team like the Bills and a guy like Josh Allen, because a lot of people don't talk about it. But beyond the sacks, JJ is very good, very strong at sealing the edge. When you're playing against the Josh Allen, you have to seal the edge. All right, you can't open up that lane. You can't get stuck inside and open up the outside lane, because Josh Allen will take off for 25. You know what I mean? He'll put 25 yards on you in a second. The second you do that, you got to hold those lanes. Fun fact, when Josh Allen dinks and ducks, it's acceptable, and he's a great quarterback. When any other quarterback dinks and ducks, they're the worst quarterback to play the game. Yeah, and Grandire's just talking from the Miami Dolphin fan perspective, because everybody was on Tua saying he can't play because he dinks and dunks, and that was just so stupid. Now, hopefully, we're not going to hear that anymore, and people just shut up and realize that Tua is a pretty good quarterback. We don't know how good he's going to be, if he's going to be great, not. But people have got to stop saying that Tua is horrible. He's not. That's just stupid Jet fan bias. I'm sorry. I'm not want to offend anyone by calling them stupid, but you have to wake up. You're saying it because you're a Jet fan. Yeah, like if you don't understand your own bias, you're out of your minds. Just watch Tua play. Look at his numbers. Look what they do when he's in. They win games when he's playing. I'm not saying he's a superstar, but yet people have got to stop saying that Tua is trash. Tua is not trash. He's not trash. So people have got to stop saying it. It's like, enough already. They got a good quarterback. Just accept it. Thoughts on Greg Gillette's clutch moments? All seen him lose 2 games for Dallas last year. Yeah, but he's been doing good this year. I get nervous, man. But when you're a Jet fan at this point, we got to be nervous no matter who's lining up to kick the ball. Let's be honest. We've been burned so badly by kickers in clutch moments. So far, I got no complaints. Overall, Greg, Little Leg has been very good. Let's hope it keeps up. I know that the guy we let go missed a pretty big one. For somebody, like he actually missed an important one, and the guy we didn't draft, Yoke or whatever his name is, that a lot of us wanted to draft, he's been way inconsistent and has missed a lot. So far so good. We made an okay choice. Of course, I'm going to take your question, Payo Time. It's like so funny. Cool. Thanks for taking my question. I'm a smart Canadian. I'm a soft-spoken Canadian. I'm also a clueless tourist in LA who stood outside an In-N-Out Burger recording myself while he very possibly he could have shut off the phone, looked down, and not only would his wallet been gone, but his pants too. You were in LA, man. Keep your eye on your stuff. That roughing the passer penalty on the pick 6 was ridiculous. The flag was thrown like 15 seconds after the hit when it was clear we were going to score. Yeah, it's hard to swallow. But also, to be fair, JFM should have never have done it. But either way, it's just agonizing. It's just agonizing. I mean, it was a ridiculous way for a team to, like, that 10-point swing is the referees, literally a subjective referee making a decision. It's just ridiculous that games are determined that way. Anyway, I got a surprise coming for you in a second, guys. Like this. It's okay to dink and dunk. Brady makes a career out of it. Just complete the passes. Absolutely. It's amazing. Me and my brother, and he'll tell you about it, we used to watch Phil Simms say it all the time. His short passes were like handoffs. He never missed. And the Giants were great for it. I saw a super chat from someone that looked new. Let me see where they are. Now I can't find them. There we go. Paul Vella. Dink and dunk is the way to pave the road to victory. Take what the defense gives you. Bait with dink and dunk, then look for bigger opportunities that open when they close in. 100%, 100%, absolutely correct. Absolutely exactly what we should be doing. Right? Unless they're trying to stop that from the beginning and they're giving you the short stuff. Basically, take what the defense gives you. If they're going to give us the short stuff, we do it all game. If they move in and get frustrated to stop it, then we go deep on them and take advantage of their injuries at safety. But yeah, We have to be smarter like that. So anyway, guys, let me get some music going. I got an introduction to make. I bet you thought that it wasn't going to be an introduction, but yeah, you get the introduction. This man is not just any man. He is a man from Brooklyn. He's a man who traveled cross country to put his stake in the ground. Say, this land is my land now. Through hard work, he accomplished his goals and his dreams. He is the bagel eating, lox eating, hot dog eating, food truck eating, coffee in Portland drinking, view of a river loving, traveling, New York visiting, eat a knish at the Met game, the greatest channel partner in the world, Lee Kravitz.
That was nice.
What's up?
That was nice, man. Thank
like
you.
that? Okay.
Thank you.
What's going on?
Hey, I'm reading all these comments. I did the video earlier about the Jets beating Buffalo. I am now thinking we just got to surprise them and go deep. Because everybody, every fan, every coach is saying go short. And, they have hurt safeties. Let's just kill them early.
He likes it. He likes it. Yeah, look. Their safety is hurt. They're down their two safeties. If one of our receivers can just beat their corner, like if they beat their cornerback, the safeties that will now help are obviously not their prime guys, right? They're on their backup, and everybody exposes and attacks our weaknesses. Why wouldn't we attack theirs?
Yeah, I know it's not wise. I mean, you got to open things up, but in the spirit of take what they give us, I think that's what they'll give us. Maybe without even choice. So I'm just saying we got to look for that. Got to look for that.
Yeah. I think we have to take chances and go for some big plays for sure. It can, and you're right. They're expecting us. Everybody's saying it. They know they've struggled against the run the last couple of games. There's no way they're not focused on that and saying we have to fix this. So, while they're focused on fixing that, maybe that means they're going to cheat, put an extra guy in, and maybe we can beat them deep. You never know.
So really, I'm just agreeing with everybody else. Take what they give.
Yeah. So
J. Cole wants a shout out. Yo, J. Cole.
He's mad that I'm not doing enough. I'm not doing enough for him. So he's asking you to give him a shout out. Don't give him too much attention. The next thing you know, he'll be asking if you like fried ravioli. Okay, so
yeah, the Beat the Buffalo Bills video is actually doing very well.
Yeah, we got a new video out right now. Those of you probably have noticed that in the last 24 hours, Lee has started putting out videos on the channel. And that's just we're trying to get more content out, and you know what I mean? 1 cravat, 2 cravats, 3 cravats, we're all the same. It doesn't matter. It's just more of us. It's like multiplicity.
It matters. It matters. I would take your opinion way above my opinion.
Nah. We agree mostly on the same thing. I just get a little more of a lunatic during the games.
Yes.
He dropped the pass. Cut him.
Cut him.
Fire the coach. Whitehead and Quincy are built for this game's downfield speed and hard hits. Lego. Yeah. You gotta piss off Josh Allen. Like we've seen him frustrated and mad and angry, and when things don't go his way and he's uncomfortable, like a lot of quarterbacks, he definitely does not play as well. Like he's shown it.
Yeah, but if we're talking straight here, Zach totally fell apart. I haven't seen Josh go that far down. But yes, I think that most people, you got to get to them.
When he was younger, he would have
Yeah.
meltdowns.
Yeah.
Josh Allen. So
You got to get into their psyche as much as you can.
yeah. And I think that, the one good thing, a good thing that we a lot of us forget about is Zach did have that last drive. And it wasn't like, they stopped playing. Yes, their defense changed a little because it was more of don't let them have score, and then they had to be more conservative to have guys back to not let us get a quick score. And they wanted to eat up clock, but it wasn't garbage time. They were still trying to stop us because they knew if we score, we get the onside kick. They saw us do it to Cleveland. They were still playing, and the throws from Zach were still very real.
Absolutely. I don't know what the again, some people hate Zach, some people love him. I've said it before. I don't get it. We don't know how he's going to mature yet because he's not mature. He's a super young guy. I mean, I can't even imagine at that age the things that I was still thinking and doing and how I was living my life. You're asking him to be an adult. He's got a lot of responsibility. Obviously, he's getting paid a lot of money, and that's his job, man. That's his job. But we know he can throw the ball, right? The question is, can he get out of his head and just throw the ball? And that's something it takes a while to do, and we don't know if he can do it yet. But I got to tell you this. We've got to give him every chance. You and I have talked about this, but you got to give him every chance to do it. You can't be taking him out of games. And what are we going to put White in? What, White's our guy? White's not our guy. That just means we're going back to the drawing board. The key is, where are we going to be in 3 years? And if it's not Zach, it's not going to be 3 years. It's going to be 5 years, 7 years, because we need to draft another quarterback, right? So if it's not Zach, we're in deep, deep trouble. So it better be Zach. And if it's not, we have to know that it's not, because we gave him every opportunity.
It's almost guaranteed that, and I tell people all the time, they're not going to bench Zach. The only way Zach could possibly get benched this season, if he keeps getting worse, like if he's spiraling and it's so bad.
Yeah.
But that's not going to happen.
But that means giving up. That means you've given up. Like, know he's not the guy.
Yeah. Like the only way they would, if Zach was to get worse and worse and get benched, that means we're literally drafting a new quarterback in the draft. That's what it means.
It means you've given up. And I'll tell you, if he has just a horrendous game, and I don't mean horrendous because Buffalo outplays him. If he has a horrendous game because his brain goes away again, right? Yeah. I'm going to have, and it's hard to get me not to be mellow about these things. I'm going to have serious concerns about him if he makes the same mistakes back to back, because when you're not going to have the same mistakes is right afterwards. I mean, you're going to study the tape. You're going to get coached all week on those specific topics, and you're going to be clean on bonehead interceptions. He's going to be.
Can you imagine if during the first drive of the game, Von Miller breaks through, Zach spins around, runs backwards 15 yards. He's running to the sideline. And Von Miller gets there sooner than he thinks and gets a hand on him. And Zach kind of chucks it to go out of bounds. And it doesn't make it. And the Bills get an interception. Can you imagine what would happen in Jets Nation in that stadium? I can't even think about it.
And the thing is, I say they're coaching him on that. They are coaching him on that, but they're also coaching him on staying aggressive. You can't just fold and be conservative to the point of throwing everything away. It's critical that he's aggressive when his feet are under him. He's scrambling, he sets his feet, bam, fire that ball. But he can't just chuck it while he's on the run off balance, because it almost always ends in an interception, right?
Yeah. No, absolutely. Absolutely. Question for both of us. Were you upset or content that the Jets didn't make any trades at the deadline? If upset, who would you believe the Jets should have traded for? Well, I didn't want the Jets to start giving away draft capital to trade for anyone. I don't think this is the right year for it, because we're not in a win now Super Bowl mode. And I feel like teams that buyers compromise the future. And I didn't want to be a buyer. I didn't want to compromise any of the future unless something had just fell on our lap. But we did make one trade. We traded Jacob Martin. And basically in return, our 2024 pick, 5th round pick, becomes a 4th round pick. And since we weren't utilizing Jacob Martin because we're stacked in that position and we were being forced to, we had a problem because like Bryce Huff has played so well, we can't leave him inactive. So we had one too many guys. We literally had to get him off the roster. And instead of cutting him or putting him on the practice squad to get poached, we upgraded around. Like in 2024, we're going to say, hey, we got 2 4th-round picks. Remember that guy, Jacob Martin, that barely played for us? That one for 7 games of one season. Now we have an extra 4th-round pick. So I'm happy about it. I'm content. What about you, Lee?
Well, first of all, I trust JG. So if I trust him, then I'm thinking he did the right thing regardless. But I'm very focused. I know it's weird to say, but I'm very focused on next year and the year after. I love this year. I'm getting way more than I expected to get out of it. I want us to do great, but I don't want to do anything to like hurt our chances in the future. I want to do everything to help our chances. So I don't think it was worth anything. Like we really got something. We gave something and got something for the future. So I'm all in on those kind of moves. Also, as my CFO taught me a long time ago, everything has a price, and you do deals when you're getting more. When you're getting more than you're giving up, right? When you're getting more perceived value than you're giving up in perceived value. And if that's not, you make that whenever you can. And if you can't make it, you don't do it.
Yeah. Now, they also made the trade for James Robinson, as Stark Soldier pointed out. That wasn't right at the trade deadline, but they made that trade. That was a big trade. And that was the beautiful thing about that was basically about 4 or 5 months ago, they traded Blake Cashman, a guy that we call Blake Glassman because he was injured the whole 3 years he was here. They traded him and got a 5th-round pick. And basically, they just turned that 5th-round pick into James Robinson. And if he rushes for 600 yards, it becomes a 4th-round pick. But the point is, we still have 7 picks for next year. We had an extra pick to play with, so the cost wasn't too high. Breece Hall got hurt. We needed to bring another running back in, and we did. So I'm happy with that one as well.
And that might pay in the future for us.
We can have them next year.
Yeah, that might pay in the future too. Yeah.
So
we could turn around and get that pick back for him, potentially.
Yeah, absolutely. So Twisted says, not hating on Zach here. What makes you think he comes out and looks better this week? We hear the practice went good week after week, but come game day, we see a little change, if any. Well, I think what the point Lee's making is it's very rare for any player to make the same identical mistakes 2 weeks in a row, right, Lee?
Yeah, but it's more than that. I mean, I think the real Zach right now in his career is probably not what we saw in the 4th quarter of the Steeler game, which was fantastic, Zach. But it wasn't what we saw. It wasn't the breakdown that we saw. That was the first time we've seen that in a while. So I would say the real Zach is kind of what we saw in the other 2 games, which is a guy that, isn't a great quarterback, frankly, but isn't throwing wild interceptions, is contained, is throwing the easier passes, missing some of them. Not a great quarterback, but not what he was last week. So when you say looks better, if you're saying looks better than last week, I just think he has to, because that was a fluke down, just like Pittsburgh 4th quarter was a fluke up. So I'd like to see him at a minimum. He's going to return to normalcy for him, and I think he takes a step up. I think they smack him around. He's learned learns a lesson. You go through something like that, you come back a little stronger. So I think we're going to see him. I'm going to say he's a 75 to 85 rating. Not that I put all my faith in the ratings kind of quarterback right now. And I think maybe he comes back as a 90, 95 for this game.
So he, I believe in statistics, they call that regression to the mean.
Okay.
Right. like you take what Zach is like average Zach, what that means. And typically you're not going to be too far an outlier of that Zach week to week. Like it's going to bounce back and forth a little bit.
But we expect him to migrate upward because he's learning, right? I mean, you expect that.
Yeah, you definitely expect somebody to migrate up.
If not, then he's not our quarterback.
Definitely
Right?
not.
He's not going to make it.
Well, because the quarterback he is right now, even on a good day, like a strong day, is still not good enough to what we drafted for sure. George Roser scares me when he pops on a Saturday. When he pops up on a Saturday, how come? I want to point out that you'll notice a little mark next to Mark Reese's name. That's because he's a snacker. Now, when you look at my channel, if you go to the homepage of my channel, there'll be a little button called Join. When you hit that button, you get 4 options. And for the price of a cup of coffee, you could become a member and help sponsor the channel. It's just a few bucks a month. And you get emoticons, like different things and pictures and letters that you could put in. One of you guys use that and play with that. Mark Reese, use some of those weird letters that I gave you and show them what you get. And then if you join one of the higher levels of membership, you get other bonuses, other things are provided. If you're a super snacker and you want to pay $100 a month, you basically own part of the channel and you get to be on the show whenever you want, for at least 1 hour a month.
I got a discount.
So there's there. You got the discount. Yeah, you got the 5-finger discount. Thank you, Jeremy and Lee, for taking my question. Of course, that's what we're here for.
And I noticed a few people, J. Cole and others, Grandizer for sure, that you watched the vid I did today. I'm super excited that you watched it and said nice things about it. Just getting started with those, with Jeremy tutoring me.
It's good stuff. It's good stuff. Well, the content was good right away. We're just working on thumbnails and silly little things like that. No, that most of the followers here probably don't even care about. And watch me. I think Mark Reese cares about the thumbnail. I think he sits there and goes, I want a better thumbnail if I'm going to click on that. Okay. Mark Reese is not the only snacker. Dark Soldier is the master snacker. So actually, it's Jets Mets Mess is the master snacker, but Dark Soldier is like an honorary high level snacker. He and Jets Mess are the ones that started the whole snacker thing.
Yeah, and I got to respond to Jets Mess because he's my man. He's my man.
Jets Mess is your man.
Yeah.
So we have Nim Burners Lee. So he has some overlay to your name, Lee, the Lee part you have in common. He says Garrett Wilson, 100+ yards and a touchdown tomorrow. I hope so.
I want to see that, man. I love that.
It would be beautiful. It would be a beautiful thing.
Yeah, I think we're going to have a lot more passing yards. We have to. We're going to have to.
Yeah.
I know we want to run the ball. I know we want to control. We have to, but we have to open up the passing game if we're going to beat the Bills.
Yeah. Mr. Magix is here. Right. I think he's talking about Zach. I don't think he's a Zach fan. Anthony G. He likes to call me Egghead. And he says, Jet the F up, boys. So, he'd like to see a win, Anthony. Good follower of the channel, supporter of the channel. I'm going to hold my tongue about some Jet fans right now. So Zach will run for positive yards this week. God, I hope so. I blame a lot of the OC plans are too slow to develop. Yeah, I think that they do have to get the plays to develop faster. I don't understand why we're not seeing more quick slants. I don't. I honestly don't. It seems so obvious. And it just doesn't make a lot of sense to me because we have the right personnel to run quick slants. We have small, fast guys. I don't know why.
Go for touchdowns. Quick slants go for touchdowns.
Well, Jerry Rice made a career of it.
Yeah.
So I don't understand. So maybe one day we will.
We should talk about Mims a little bit, man. How about a little bit of Mims?
Let's talk a little bit about Mims. But I just want to point out that another one of my members is here. Knobcraft, welcome. Cravat and Company. Probably be a good name for a hot sauce company if we started a hot sauce company. Well, welcome and thank you. I'm glad you enjoy the chat. That's why we do the live shows. So create a space for the chat. So,
Jeremy and I were Knicks fans. I mean, I would say at the time we were bigger Knicks fans than Jets fans back in the Ewing, Mason days. We were insane. Oakley. Oh my God. I wore 34 when I played.
Yeah. Dark Soldier says, I get lost in the comments. You're right. You know what? Dark Soldier's right. Guys, I can't get to every comment. If you want to guarantee I'm going to get to your comment, one of the ways to cut the line and make sure it's guaranteed to work is to do it in a super chat. Otherwise, I'm going to try to get the comments, but if I miss yours, understand that super chats are the ones that are guaranteed to be read. But I do the best I can because I love all the people that support the channel. Like, what's going on, V-Man? It's good to see you. I don't know why V-Man hasn't become a snacker yet. He's a natural snacker. J. Cole's mom is here. Hey, boys, how about them Cowboys? I guess J. Cole's mother likes the Cowboys. Yeah, everybody. I think we'd all like to see Elijah Moore get involved and put the unfortunate couple of past weeks behind him.
Yeah, my concern about him, just real quick, my concern about Moore is he just has a hard time saying it without breaking that he's a team player. He just can't say it and leave it at that. He just can't say I'm here for the team. And like, and so it's if you're a coach, it's very hard to reward somebody who's still saying it's about me. I'm just saying it's hard to reward that.
Yeah, ask me that question, Lee, that they asked him.
They asked him. So, what position? I mean, they're using you as wide. Don't you think you might be better in the slot? I mean, what do you think is the best way for the Jets to use you?
I think they can use me any way they want that would help the team win. That's a good answer, right?
He paused first, but yeah, that's about what he did. Exactly. And I'll we talk about Mimsy blowing it out for a TD right off the bat. I dream of that. And they talked to him and he was like, whatever they need me to do, I'm working my butt off. I'll do whatever it takes. I want to be on the field. I want to win. Let me play. Thank you. Thank you for letting me play. I mean, he has learned. He's learned. Yeah. Team or no play.
Right. Team or no play.
Yeah.
It's very simple. Say the right things we tell you to say. Don't cause problems or you don't play.
And if they break that, then the guys know they could just beef themselves, right? They have to know there's a price to pay when you go anti-team. You text to everybody, you don't play. It's not going to help you to go public saying you want to trade. Number one, you're not going to get traded. Number two, you're not going to play. Your value is going to go down as a player because everybody's going to know you did it on other teams. You're not going to get showcased. And that hopefully that sets an example of you're on the team sport.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Sorry to be so harsh about it. But
no, it's true. Hello, Team Cravat. Old Dave Echeverry, who's in Modesto, not far from me, a little bit south. I'm actually going to be relocating for temporarily at work in the Stockton area, so I'm going to be pretty close to Modesto again, like a 25-minute drive. So that's going to be interesting. Love those old Knick teams. Signed Starks jersey. Yeah, so me and Lee, years ago, before even Starks, Lee tried to take me to my first Knick game, and we couldn't get tickets. We were with some of his college friends, and instead I got to eat probably 4 different slices of pizza from 4 different pizzerias. I felt like we just walked around Manhattan all night going to different pizza places.
Didn't we buy records at Sam Goody's or Tower Records or something also?
Yeah, we hit Tower Records. We went all over. Man, that was the most walking, the biggest that I ever done in my life, I think.
Yeah.
Mr. Grouch, Stephen Engel says 5-4 before going to the bye.
No. Well, probably. Yeah, probably. But not definitely.
But not definitely. 6-3 will be even better. Steven. Yeah, it would be better. They still have to play the game, Steven. Right? I mean, look, I know I'm getting my mail every day, Stephen Engel, right? I know every day the mailbox, I look in and there's mail every day except Sunday. There's mail. But guess what? It's not going to be there and it's not automatic if somebody doesn't go and bring it and put it in there, are they? So, yeah. The Bills are going to probably win the game. But if they don't show up on the field and play football, they're not, are they? So they still have to go and they still have to do it, just like we all have to show up to work and do our jobs for everything in the world to happen the way other people we impact expect it to go.
That's one of the points I made in the video, Jeremy, and I think this is important. It doesn't mean anything really, but it's important to me. When the
Yeah.
week started, 12.5-point spread. Now it's an 11-point spread. Now that means people are betting against the spread, but they're betting on the Jets on the spread, right? But the second thing is it was 9-1 odds. 9-1. Okay. You had to bet 900 to make 100 betting on the Bills, and it's down. I think I saw it down to 550 at some point today. That's serious. What that means is people are betting on the Jets to win, and they're not coming in on Buffalo. That's a big deal. So I'm going to dream and say we can win this game, baby.
Well, I hope so, because Knobcraft did this.
I hope you win,
Yeah,
Knobcraft.
You know what's so funny about that? It's because when we're doing the watch party, Knobcraft goes absolutely batshit when things go wrong. Cut Zach.
Not more batshit than you? Not worse than you, Jeremy?
Last week he was worse than me. He was like, but, grab Zach Wilson and chop his fingers off as punishment. JFM brand him with a big branding iron that says "stupid" on his chest. Like, he was so mad. Can you imagine? Now he's going to be doing it with $500 on the line. Well, they say you should never bet on your own team, but Knobcraft, I hope you win, man. I really hope you win.
So when I was in my early 20s.
Well, one thing, Knobcraft, did you take points or are you getting odds? Because if he's getting odds, that means he's going to win like 2,500 or something if he wins, right? Or like 2,000. Sorry, Lee, go ahead and talk.
I was going to say, 35 years ago, more than 35 years ago. Wow, I'm old. Over 35 years ago, I used to play a game called Stratomatic Baseball. And then they came out with an even more representative game of the game itself, and it was called Pursue the Pennant Baseball. And there was one guy that did two stupid things in the year. He got picked off at first by a hide the ball player or something, and he was caught snoozing off a second, and they got picked off. And so they put a bonehead on his card, and if he was up and you rolled a certain roll of the dice and you got the bonehead play, he was out. He did a bonehead play. And even in the field, this guy got a bonehead thing. So if the ball was hit to him and it was a certain roll, he dropped it. You know, like it's a bonehead play. So that's what happened to Zach. He rolled 1-1-1 on 3 separate dice, 20-sided dice, bonehead, and he threw the interceptions. It won't happen again.
But can we win? Even so. Yeah, look, you don't know. We might win, and then you'll be very happy, Knobcraft, and you'll have probably something a little over $2,000, and you'll go out and treat yourself to something nice. But Knobcraft, look, you work in a restaurant. You're a chef. You can cook yourself. You know, chefs can take care of themselves because they can cook themselves something special anytime they want. After I win $1.6 billion tonight. Oh, I gotta tell my wife. Shoot, we're running out of time. Wait. Powerball.
A lot of people are going to win that, man. I know a lot of people are pretty pumped, ready to win.
It was 1.2. That people weren't as pumped for that because it's only 1.2, but 1.6, that's life changing.
Yeah, because it matters. That's a big difference. I know it's a lot of money difference, and even percentage is a big difference. But once you hit a certain number, isn't that enough?
I think 1.6. I think in California you take home, let's say conservatively, no matter what, 500 million.
No, you take more than that.
Because the lump sum they take almost half, and then you got to pay the taxes.
No,
So
that is the taxes.
No.
Oh, you're saying the number is a lie number.
Yeah, because the real amount for 1.6 is more like 850 million. The price.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the California is going to take about half. Yeah, you're lucky you get 5.
Right. So you get about 500 million, but
that's enough too.
Well, 500 million, you know, you could take 100 million to play with and live off 400 million a year interest of 5%. Let's say you make about 20 million a year. You got 100 million that you could throw around at people and friends, and buy season tickets to things and whatever you want.
You'll have a hard time spending it. Trust
Calling
me.
me. I can't talk right now.
You have to buy Twitter or something.
You have to buy. He's saying lump sum is $760 million, then taxes. You see what I'm saying?
No, you're right. Because then you're in the 13% tax and you're in the 37%. So you're in a full 50 with no deductions for the most of it. You're probably getting 400 or something.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Maybe less. Yeah.
But you know what? 400 was still enough. Still enough.
It's so much. It's so much money.
So much. 400 million would be, my God, what would I do with that?
I say that because I know people that have 5 million and, they spend 2.5 on a pretty great house and then they have enough money to pretty much go the distance, It's good money.
Yeah, Twisted is saying with that much money, why lump sum it? You couldn't spend the yearly payout. Yeah, because you could get it paid 1.6 billion over 21 years. I mean, that's like over 500 million a year, right? Isn't it, or something? Or
well, you do. Not to get technical, but you probably want to do a net present value analysis and see what interest rate they're giving you and assuming, and based on that, decide whether you could do better with the money. Odds are you probably can't. Well, maybe. Depends who you are. If you're smart, you can. You give it to a financial person.
Yeah. Man. Yeah. But it's safer because then it's 21 years and you don't have to worry about it. And every year you
blowing it. You don't have to worry about blowing it.
You don't have to worry about
blowing
it. Next year there's going to be another 50 million. And then at the end of the 20 years, you could take that last $50 million payment and say, now I'm just going to pay the taxes, keep that in the bank, and slowly live out the rest of my life. But
you're probably not going to spend. You're not going to spend each year's worth.
I know you're not. You're not.
You can't. There's not enough to buy.
I'd fly all my friends to Hawaii every once in a while.
You still can't spend it.
I know. I would do what Brio did. I'd rent out that resort, like half the resort. Or
I like that
something.
shrimp, man.
Yeah. Rent out Planet Hollywood and tell them I want you to serve coconut shrimp all night long.
Coconut shrimp.
All night long. So it is kind of crazy. I remember when it would break 100 million and it was a very big deal. When the lotto went to 100 million. Yeah, everyone.
I want to respond to weed. Okay, let me just say something here. This is a great situation for tomorrow. It's a great situation. Here's the deal. They spanked the crap out of us. Am I allowed to say that on your channel, Jeremy?
Yeah.
They spanked the heck out of us. It's almost like we expect that. Come on, we're a little bit let down because we were hoping maybe we'd actually win. But we kind of expect that to happen. And no one laughs at us because it's expected to happen. It's only upside. I hope that beer, that extra bud you're buying is if we win the game and you get to celebrate more. As a matter of fact, you should be buying Bud. Buy something really, really good.
Lee, let me help you, please. What Lee doesn't understand is that Bud is not beer.
It's not beer.
Bud is a name for marijuana.
I know that, but it's also a name for beer. But with a guy named Weed, probably not.
But he did say pick up extra Bud, so he might mean Budweiser.
It felt very Buddish. I mean, Budweiser-ish. Picking it up.
I honestly don't know now. Now I'm confused. I don't know if he's talking about Budweiser or weed.
Yeah.
Here's the question on that money. Could you lump sum it and double it and buy the Jets team? I think the Jets would go for about $3 billion, though. You have to be really extra rich because after that you have to have a lot of money left over so you could sign big contracts and
Yeah, you wouldn't want to. You'd be burying them if you bought them without enough money to spend on them.
Yeah.
I'm with Anthony here.
Yeah.
We in the beginning of the season we thought no chance, and now in our fantasies we think chance.
Right, we're playing with house money. It was a dream before the season to win 5 games before the bye. A dream. Frankie thought I was crazy. I said, I think we could go win 5 games before the bye and go 5-4, and then we'll make the playoffs. And he goes, yeah, but Jeremy, we're not going to win. Are we going to win 5 games before the bye?
I think you had them at 10-7 or maybe 11-6.
I think I did.
We did a prediction show, and you had them, I think, at 10-7.
I think I did.
You're not at house money yet, buddy boy.
I'm on track, though.
You're on track.
Not a beer guy, really. Laughing. So
Ah.
I was right. Commander's going to be $6 billion. Oh, so the Jets would be worth even more because they're New York. Yeah, the Jets would definitely go for more. Except the Jets are stuck in that horrible contract with that horrible mortgage to MetLife. So that's the problem with the Jets is they're stuck in MetLife. People think they're not because they're technically the Jets are allowed to leave New Jersey, but they're not going to because they would walk away. If they walked away from the MetLife deal, they still have to pay the mortgage. Like they're not out of the mortgage.
How many more years is that?
The mortgage? I don't know. But it's like if they walked away and moved, it's like, yes, technically they can get out of the lease to play there. But they still paid for half the stadium and they still have to pay their loan back for that. That doesn't magically go away. So then he'd have to pay whatever the new fees are to play somewhere else in addition to the mortgage for MetLife. And there's no way they're going to do
Every
it.
contract has some end dates, and there's some end date on it.
Well, to the mortgage.
Yeah.
I mean, he's paying back a loan for half the cost of that stadium. So when that's paid off, he's free of it. Or when it's low enough, he's willing to take the hit, right? And take the loss. So we'll see. I think this is funny. We will win 30-0. Zach beds every mom at MetLife. He beds them. He bets them. I don't know. So
You don't know.
I could see the Jets getting
He's the MILF man.
I could see the Jets getting a kickoff return touchdown or a punt return touchdown from Berrios or Bam Knight, because there's a good chance if because what's his face James Robinson doesn't play, there's a good chance we're going to see some Bam Knight, and if he's activated, they're going to probably we're going to see him on special teams, and I think the league might not be ready for him because he's very, very good at returning.
Yeah, those are always, those are always snake eye rolls. They happen, but it's very, very random.
Oh yeah, can you imagine the odds you'd get if you bet on it? That's a Jets kickoff return touchdown.
What's nice is the Jets had something like that this year. They had the sack by Sauce.
Yeah,
that was crazy. That was an amazing way to begin at least the defensive start of the game for the Jets.
Yeah, and then we had the pick six, but that was stolen from us, and the penalty. But how often, man, a pick six is like a once a season thing if you're lucky, and we had ours taken away on a bonehead play. There were lots of bonehead plays on Sunday. We lost because so many, and it's really hard to believe that it's possible we would have that many bonehead. Like that's the one thing we could look forward to. You're right. We're not going to have as many bonehead plays. We're not.
They're going to coach the crap out of them. Excuse me again, to not do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're going to say the only way you can win is if we don't do any bonehead penalties.
They're going to still make a mistake or two. There's no doubt. I mean, every team makes mistakes every game.
Yeah. We just can't do one that leads to a 10-point swing.
That was the worst stuff.
Let's take away 7 points and give them 3.
That's as bad as it gets. The only thing worse would have been if they got a touchdown. And that's as bad as it gets.
Yeah.
And we had all the momentum already going into that drive. And then we pick sixed it. Oh, my God.
I was so happy when I thought before I saw the flag, and then I heard Green Bean just yell, "There's a flag!" And then his son, Team Bean, goes, "It's definitely going to be roughing." And I said, "No!" And then as soon as they showed John Franklin Myers, because he's the guy who's done it twice already before that, I went, "No!" He's like our enemy. It's like John Franklin Myers is the pass interference. I mean, roughing the passer king. He
It'll
loves
be
to
interesting
rough
to
the passer.
see his role in the game. It'll be interesting to see his role in the game
Yeah.
tomorrow. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Novgraf saying we're not get that ref tomorrow. I think he's gonna play. But Jermaine, he'll play less snaps, and everyone will think it's because of the penalty, but it's gonna be because Jermaine Johnson is gonna come back.
No, because Jermaine, they want to start slowly. I mean,
Yeah.
just listening to Coach Saleh in the press conferences,
Yeah.
he's not saying, "Oh, it's all about JJ." You know, he's saying, "Yeah, he seems to finally be remembering how to play this game enough so that we'll start to get him in the rotation." At least that's what I heard between the lines.
That's a little scary. Like he said, rookies forget. I go, really? They forget? Why he didn't keep studying while he was hurt and rehabbing? He didn't also keep studying? Like what?
I mean, it's one thing we get to see him play, but these coaches are watching them in practice make mistakes, and they're watching the tapes of games, and they see the mistakes they're making, and they know who's really playing ball and who's making mistakes.
Yeah. And if a guy's making mistakes all week, you get nervous. We can't give you a ton of snaps. You're making mistakes all week. You got to show me you can execute without mistakes.
Yeah, Buffalo will eat you up if you make that mistake.
Yeah,
exactly.
But the one thing I like about JFM is like sealing that edge is so important, especially against Josh Allen. So hopefully they'll play him on first and second downs, things like that, and he'll protect the edge for us.
I'm excited about the defense, though. It's an interesting thing. Maybe they're going to break my heart, but they do have me at the point because it seems like they just are getting better and better. They had one breakdown, and you can kind of understand it last week. But their defense is just looking so good and better and better. I'm very excited to see what they do tomorrow.
Yeah.
I think that I know they're just going to break my heart, but assuming they don't, they do what I think they're going to do. It's really the offense that's going to have to change a lot in order to have any real chance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, look, it's happened where we've seen a million times where a team plays another team. The offense hasn't been doing well. It's a team not known to be very good offensively. They're playing a good defense. Everyone in fantasy starts the defense. Everyone's expecting that defense to score a million points. And then you look at the score as you're watching some other game, and it's 21-21, 24-24, 31-31, and you're watching some team that you thought was going to get shut out, make it a game, and put up 30-plus points. It's not impossible that the Jets go in there and put up 30-plus points. It's just not. It happened.
But that's why I said, that the only way to put up 30 points, I'm not – the way to win might be just to run, but you put up 30-plus points when you pass. That's what gives you a 30-30 kind of a game.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying it can't be done on the ground. Just usually it's wide open game.
Yeah. Yeah. It's yeah. So I mean, man, I hope at the very least, I'm really hoping no matter what happens, I just want to be in the game, like in the fourth quarter. Like when we're in the fourth quarter, I don't want it to be like where the game's over and we're just kind of hanging out and talking and knowing we lost, feeling depressed. I want to be like, oh my God, this could still happen, and be super excited. And you know what I mean? I'm really.
You say that now, but if they're in the game and then lose, you're not going to be happy.
Yeah, I'll be pissed, but at least when it all settles down, we'll say, hey, we played head to head with the Bills. We could be proud of ourselves. No, that's not true, Wonder. You got to look at reality. Teams put up points. Like if the Jets got a special teams or turnovers, like there's ways to get to 30 on a team that doesn't normally give up 30. It happens all the time.
I'm checking right now.
It's like the great defenses don't every single game keep their opponent under 20 points for an entire season. That's not the way football works. Great defenses have games where the other team gets points. And it's not just that because they played that poorly. Turnovers, where it's not even on the defense, right? We just get a couple of big turnovers or special teams score, or there's, a fake punt or field goal. There's different ways that it happens. But it's just not I'm saying it's not impossible.
Right.
That doesn't mean we're Super Bowl bound. It just means that the ball bounced our way and we had a perfect game. I'm not expecting to score 30 points. I'm just saying it's not impossible.
Yeah, three teams have scored 20 plus, 2020 and 21. 21 was 21-19 Miami. So we're just talking about a fluke play, two fluke plays and you're there. Of course, it's probably not going to happen.
Yeah.
Don't lower the bar, baby.
Hey, look, so anyway, yeah, like, I mean, honestly, how did we put up a 40 burger against Miami? It was like they melted down. They melted down. It wasn't like our offense, every time we got the ball, we walked and marched up and down the field and put up 40. They melted down. We got some turnovers. It was like easy scores,
Yeah. So that's the question is, I really do think Josh Allen is very steady, very hard person to melt, but you can melt anybody.
Yeah. Look, he's been known to get very angry. Jacksonville just freaking last year, Jacksonville shocked the hell out of him. They beat, they held them to 6 points. I think Jacksonville won 9-6 last year against them. And Josh Allen after the game said, I played like crap. He goes, and not just he said we all. I played like crap. The offense played like crap.
Hey, Jeremy,
yeah.
It's my 32nd anniversary of the first kind of a date my wife went on. So we have plans for tonight.
What's you doing? Food trucks?
No, I'm going to make some amazing salmon.
Oh, again.
Some fresh veggies. And I have a big bottle of champagne that this woman at IBM, she's amazing. And I don't know why, but she sent us a crazy bottle of champagne as a housewarming present. So we're going to take it down.
Are you, I just have to ask this question. Are you concerned at all about mercury poisoning?
No, read the Costco label, man.
Oh.
No. Very low levels. Jeremy is referring to the fact that I probably average salmon, I'm going to say 8 meals a week from salmon.
Oh my God.
Dinner only twice, but then there's lunch and there's breakfast with lox on a bagel.
Yeah. So Hyde and Poyer are both outs, both Pro Bowlers. So the problem is if you're playing against a team and any one position they get are banged up, the last one that feels beneficial, if you had to rate them, is safety. Because it's like if you tell me their cornerbacks are all banged up and they're and they're down to their third and fourth cornerback, I'm like, oh, if you tell me their two best pass rushers aren't going to be the game, I say, oh. But like if they're still getting to Zach and terrorizing Zach Wilson, and there's secondary, there's cornerbacks are still covering our guys well. Yeah, maybe we'll get some plays because their safety play isn't as good, but like that's not gonna. I don't know. It doesn't just change the whole. It's the least one. But I do think we could test it. Like if one of our guys does get downfield, we have fast guys. We can take a ton of shots downfield and maybe take advantage that Poyer is out. And then maybe we could make best Bills channel or not cry in his oatmeal.
Hey, Jeremy, what do you think of this? I mean, you know more about this than I do, right? What about rolling Wilson? Just rolling him, one of every 2 plays. Roll right. No.
I think that we shouldn't just roll them to the right because the Bills are so fast and they're so fast. We should probably have them run backwards and to the right, about 15 to 20 yards, and hang out right along the sideline, and then try to spin back to the inside if somebody's there, like do a ballet twist and try to get his footing and run again, and then. If someone's there, throw the ball behind him and see if you can down the field 15 yards and see if you can get it just out of bounds. Just for the hell of it. Like, don't throw it, just don't chuck it out of bounds. Make it go out as bounds by as little as possible. I don't know. Maybe they'll call a pass interference on someone if you do it that way.
Okay, no roll.
See Siemens first. I remember that commercial.
Okay, I gotta go.
Siemens first. All right, have a good time. Cook a good salmon for yourself. Have a bottle of Prosecco while you're at it.
Celebrated the Super Bowl. 32 years, baby. That's something.
32 years. It's
Ciao.
nice. Ciao. I was at that wedding. I gave a toast. My father, when I was finished giving the toast, screamed out, "Who wrote the toast?" And my sister-in-law, for 32 years later, is still trying to figure out how to edit it out. What are my predictions for tomorrow? I went through this yesterday on Best Bills channel or not. By the way, go to this guy's channel and subscribe. He's a great content provider. You could follow the Bills and find out what's going on with their team and what the fans are thinking. But also, you can, if you subscribe to his channel and look at his channel, you'll see a video with me in it. And you can see my prediction. My prediction was, first I said the Jets, I think the Jets will lose about 20-10 or 23-10. And then I was asked, if the Jets win, what will the score be? And I think I said like 20-17. So I know I know that it's not very popular for me to predict the Jets loss, but I think at some point, if we're going to do a prediction, there has to be some honesty. And a prediction doesn't mean I'm rooting for the Jets to lose, because I'm not betting money on it. I don't want to be right. I want to be wrong. But if I'm going to sit there and predict, I can't look at you guys and tell you I predict the Jets are going to win. I just can't do it. Because the reality is, it's more likely we're going to lose. Even if we had, and that's considering the fact that we are missing our three best offensive players. We really are. AVT is not there. He's probably our best offensive player, arguably with Breece Hall, who's also not there. Those are our two best offensive players. They're hurt. Out for the season. It sucks, but it's reality, right? Our two best offensive players are out. I know people don't believe this, but Corey Davis right now, I'm not saying he's more valuable, but right now in their careers, Corey Davis is our most valuable wide receiver and our third most valuable player on offense, because he's a veteran. He blocks. He knows the plays. He's always in the right place. And he's Zach's favorite target at the moment. He is. So whether it's not saying he's the best wide receiver. I'm not saying he's the guy we have to keep. Obviously, Garrett Wilson's going to be the better guy. That Garrett Wilson has more of a ceiling, has more talent. We can make all those arguments. But when you talk about where they are in their career at the moment, the number 3 player on that offense is Corey Davis. So the Jets are without their 3 best offensive players, not including quarterback. Now, quarterback is controversial because some of you think that Zach stinks. And some people think that he's just young and growing. And some people think he's good, but he needs this or that. So I'm not saying Zach Wilson. But one could make the argument either way that Zach is the most important player. And here's why. Because Zach Wilson, aside from that New England game, we don't win any of the games that we won with Joe Flacco as our quarterback. We don't. Because in all those games we won, Joe Flacco would have been sacked 10 times. So get it out of your head. We won those games, not because Zach won the games himself, but because his contribution was he avoided sacks and he kept it a game. And he didn't commit turnovers. Now, unfortunately, against New England, that narrative changed, and hopefully that's not going to happen again, or not happen very often again in this, not just this year, but in his career. LaFleur is a joke. Fire him for inconvenience. So LaFleur is not always so popular, but it's funny how we Jet fans shift and turn and twist on LaFleur, because a few weeks ago he was the most popular Jet coach on the team. Yeah, wonder we're in trouble with that. But Michael Carter is a good running back. He really is. He's a good running back. I think that what you're going to see is Ty Johnson will get some plays. Hopefully, we get the good Ty Johnson because he's such a hot and cold player. But hopefully, Michael Carter has a great game and he's capable of it. He's very good. Okay, people are sleeping on him if they forgot how good he is. He's very, very good. The other thing is that Bam Knight will get his opportunity. He probably won't take a ton of snaps, but he'll take special teams. And I think he might sneak up and do something on special teams because he's very, very good at special teams. So watch for kickoff returns because you might see Bam Knight take one back, make a few plays or something or do something. Ragna Jet. Need J-Rod and Corey back for Pats. Yeah, hopefully. I think the bye week will take care of that. I do. Lawrence Wapples. Is James Robinson playing tomorrow game? I heard that. I didn't hear that he was out, but I guess he is. People are saying he's out. So I believe it because I haven't paid attention today, but I wouldn't play him anyway. He's based on what I'm hearing. If his knee is bad and he's not practicing, then why would you play him, right? It's not worth it against the Bills. It really isn't. Against the game where it's going to be a long shot anyway, like why extend it? Give him this week, the bye week, give him that long break and hope that he gets healthy by the time we get back from the bye. Mario would have been 7-1. Yeah, I don't know about that, but that's the new thing, right? Mariota's better than Zach. Wonder, are you really Jets forever? No, he's not. Is Robinson definitely out, Jeremy? I think so. Some people here are saying he is. He might not be. It might not be definite, Braden, but we should act as if he's out. Let's just say that. Yeah, Barrios. Hey, Mims, baby. Mims can ball out. You'll watch. I think there's some excitement going on around Mims. I think they like what they're seeing. We've done that before, and then he does nothing. So there's that too. Sup, my man, Italy Jet, my buddy, Gino. I'm not worried about Robinson injury. Are you? I'm not worried about. I'm worried about it long. I'm not worried about it long term, but I'm worried about it for tomorrow because I don't think he's playing tomorrow. We'll find out. Does he? Well, he wasn't hurt when he came to the team. He passed the physical, so it is what it is. I don't understand what. I mean, I was telling people, I was like, basically, everybody, it's like instead of asking when we trade for a player, get a new player, and say, is he injury prone? The second they become a Jet, they're injury prone, right? If you've been watching the Jets for any amount of time, the moment you put on a Jets uniform, you are now injury prone because we can't keep anyone healthy. Everyone, if you're a Jet, you get hurt. When you're a Jet, you get hurt every day from your last ankle injury to your shoulder. It's not okay. That was improvised, not bad. When you're a Jet, let them do what they can. They could put braces on you. You're an injured man. All we do is get hurt, guys. I mean, I've known now that we just have to have a deep team and that we're gonna have to be prepared to play with backups because it's like no other team I've ever watched in my life. I've never seen a team absorb so many injuries every year. It's every year. We don't even get to start the season with our players. And it's always the critical players. I'm knocking on wood, all right? I'm knocking on wood. Robinson injury is serious. It's been bad since Jacksonville and ACL knee. He sat out a couple of Jags games. Well, that sucks. I don't know what to tell you. I guess we took a chance and it blew up in our face. That's the truth. I believe that Michael Carter could be a lead back, but the problem is he's knocking on wood. It's hard to believe he won't get hurt, though, because he's a Jet. SOS, our offense is terrible because of Michael LaFleur. Yeah, you're not a Michael LaFleur fan, I see. I don't know. I'm undecided on LaFleur. My big question with LaFleur is why the hell don't we do quick slants? I just don't understand it. I watch games and I watch every other team. Every team in the NFL I watch do quick slants. Every other team. Quarterback snaps back, quick pass over the middle, guys running across the field. I see it every day, and we don't do it. And then we do it finally, like in the fourth quarter when the game's practically over. That's when we did it. We did it last week against New England in the fourth quarter when we were already down by 2 scores with 4 minutes to go. That's when we discovered we could do a quick slant. And that's the way it is every week with us. And I don't understand it. I really don't. Are they saving that game plan for next year when we're Super Bowl contender? I mean, like, it's crazy. Why? I don't understand why we can't just be like every other football team and do quick slants sometimes. I understand you can't do it every play, but never. Carter was a lead back last season, was expected to be this season until we drafted Hall. I have faith in him. Yeah, I like Carter. He's good. He's really good. Let's give him a chance. Dominique comes in. Thanks for watching the channel. Thanks for watching the show. He's a Bills fan. He says, "Go Bills, baby." We'll see y'all tomorrow. We'll see you. I don't mind Bills fans, man. Bills Mafia. If you understood what Bills Mafia and what that fan base does for people, I said it yesterday on the Best Damn Jets show, maybe, or whatever, or not. I said it yesterday. The Bills fan base deserves a lot of respect. They do some amazing things. They come together. They help people in need, even if the other team, family members of other teams, like teammates, like if a New York Jets player was to have their wife pass away or child, Bills Mafia gets together and does something. Like, it's incredible. They're good people. I agree, Harlan. I'll say that too. I don't know what you're talking about, Gino, but I'm coming to eat that. I'm coming to St. Louis, and I expect a tour. Yes, my brother has a video. Go check it out. You'll like it. It's a good video. Thanks, Grandizer. Yeah, take care, brother. Yep. Enjoy the game. We hope that we make it a game. That's what we're hoping for. We're hoping that we make it a game, but enjoy the game. I'm sure you will. Got a great team that look like a lot of fun to watch and root for. Carter is not a 3-down back. In college, he was a secondary back behind Williams of UNC. He's not a 3-down back. He is what he is. They had another great back, so he didn't get as many carries. That doesn't mean he's not. You don't know that he can't. You're telling me that for a fact that Carter, Jay, come on, Jay. He's not proven it, but we don't know that he can't carry the ball 20 times. And then we give it to Ty Johnson the rest of the time. Like, we don't know that. That's not a fact. It's he hasn't proved it, but we don't know that he can't. He's a good running back. He's really good. He really is. I don't know what people say. Before we drafted Breece Hall, nobody thought we needed one because we had Michael Carter. He's good. Like, he's very good. He breaks tackles. He never goes down on first contact. He's good. If our offensive line is able to block well and create any kind of openings or get any kind of push, Michael Carter will deliver. Be fine. My worry is he gets hurt. Knock on wood. That's my fear. If you use him too much, he gets hurt. Yeah, but he's not too small to be a 3-down back. He's too small, meaning he's likely to get hurt if you test your luck by giving him the ball too much. But I watched Dave Meggett growing up play for the other team on the other side of our city. The other guys in the other locker room. I watched Tiki Barber play for the guys on the other side, in the other locker room. You could be a small running back and carry a team. You could be a primary back. Like, it's possible. We don't know. There's no evidence to any of this. He's a smaller back, but it doesn't mean he can't be the lead back. It doesn't mean that. Nobody thought that before we took Breece Hall. Nobody thought that Michael Carter couldn't be a number 1 running back on a team. It's just not true. I mean, I'm not saying definitely. You might be right. He might get hurt, or they might have no plans on doing it. They might use Ty Johnson a lot. You might be right. They might not see him as a guy you could use as a 3-down back. But if he gets 22, 23 carries and rushes for 130 yards tomorrow, then what are you going to be saying? Maybe he can't do it week in, week out, but you're saying for one game in 1 week he can't do it? I don't know that. It's one game, brother. One game. Yeah, look, is everybody, you have to understand every coordinator takes heat, right? Even the good ones. You have to be really established or do something amazing in your career to have people leave you alone. Otherwise, you get questioned. I don't know if LaFleur gets, I don't know that he gets criticized or he gets the fans as pissed as any other fan base gets pissed at their offensive coordinator. There might be 25 fan bases that are just as anti their offensive coordinator. They are in a position where they take the biggest beating for the fans, because anytime you don't score any play that doesn't go right, it's like, oh, freaking stupid play. And so I'll judge him after the game tomorrow, but game by game, we'll see how he does. We're 5-3. I mean, I don't know how we can be so critical. We're 5-3. We were 4-13 last year. Now we're 5-3. For the love of God, can we ever just be happy? For the love of God, what is it going to take for us to stop being angry and pointing fingers at people? We're 5-3. We're 5-3. My God, we were 5-2, 7 games into the season. We had won more games than we won all of last year. All of last year. In the last 2 seasons before this, we won 6 games. If we win another game this year, we've matched the last 2 years combined. For the love of God, can we be happy? Please. Be reasonable, people. Be reasonable. You want green bean mania? Watch our watch party tomorrow, Tony. There'll be lots of green beans tomorrow. And by the way, we don't know. We can't put the cap on the ceiling on Carter. He's in his 2nd year. So we don't even know. We don't know. Serviceable, above average, we don't know. How could you know? Maybe for tomorrow, in your opinion, because he's only in his 2nd year. But are you telling me next year and the year after that, you know what Michael Carter's potential is? Because I sure don't. I don't know what he could be or what he can't be. How could we possibly know that? It's been 2 years. It's been less than 2 seasons. And he's probably played in only a season's worth of games because of injury last year. So we don't know what his ceiling is. We don't know how good he is. The bottom line is he might have a great game tomorrow. He's perfectly capable of having a great game. The guy never goes down on first contact. He's like top in the NFL at that last year. So we don't know. And besides, we all know that the running game is also based on your offensive line almost more than it is your your running backs. If your offensive line creates the holes, any NFL running back will have a big game. So let's just see what he does. But I think he's more than just. Maybe at this exact point of his career, he's just above average and serviceable. But I'm not going to say that that's all he'll ever be. Breece Hall is put. It's really sunk the enthusiasm towards Michael Carter because Breece Hall is so special, but that doesn't take away from who Michael Carter truly is. As good as Breece Hall is, it doesn't make Michael Carter magically worse. When they beat the Dolphins, I didn't know how to deal with it, to be honest. I'm 59. Yeah, man, it's hard to feel positive with this team. I never trust them. But we just have to hope they win. We just have to hope that they win. Devin Singletary is 5'7". He already has how many? I can't blind. 323 yards this season. Size is a factor, but it's not everything. Yeah, small guys have had success. Small running backs have had success in the NFL. We could name so many of them, right? Barry Sanders was not a big guy. I'm not trying to compare Michael Carter to Barry Sanders. My point is you don't have to be big. There's other ways to get the job done. Jets need to win either Bills or Patriots for the playoffs. They have to beat one of them. Yeah, I've said it before. I honestly believe we're going to beat New England after the bye week. I'm very, very confident. I honestly am. I feel confident that I'll stop being angry when we get a solid team. Look, I'm not saying you don't have the right to question I'm just saying, when do you're telling me that you're not at all satisfied at all? There's nothing. You feel nothing. We're 5-3. That means nothing. If we were 3-5, if we were 2-6 right now, you wouldn't feel differently than 5-3. You're saying it's the same thing. Like we don't get to say anything positive. We don't get to feel positive. We get to not have any enjoyment. We won 4 games in a row. We don't get to enjoy that at all. At all. What? Those games don't count? Those games aren't real? We didn't win 4 in a row? That's not real? Come on. What are you telling me? You're telling me it wasn't real? The 4 games we won is not real? Why? We didn't win 5 in a row? We can't win every week? Yes, we can't win every week. We can't. We can't win every week. Yes, admittingly, it takes time. We didn't go from being a 4-13 team to being this amazing team that's never going to lose. It doesn't happen like that. It never did. Who does that happen for? Who becomes this team that never loses? Who does it happen to? Who? We're building a good team. We're better than we were last year. We already won more games than we did last year. We're building a team. That's how it's supposed to happen. And you're allowed to question LaFleur. I question LaFleur. He won't throw a freaking slant pass in the first quarter. I'm pissed too. I don't understand it either. Why can't we throw a slant pass in the first quarter? Like, I don't get it either, man. It's not like I'm not defending LaFleur on that decision. I'm pissed about it too. But I'm also not going to. I'm also happy that they're somehow are 5-3, and I credit with him some of that. I think that even though it didn't look pretty, the game plans worked. We beat Green Bay and Denver. It worked. He went on the road. He was part of that. We didn't turn the ball over. It worked. We found a way to win those games. It worked. I don't know why he won't throw a slant, though, dude. I don't. I can't. It's like crazy. If I could answer one question, I would ask him. If I had him, you know, in the movie where they kidnapped the guy. Well, if I could kidnap Mike LaFleur and I had him tied up, I'd say, why the hell won't you throw a slant pass? Like, I don't understand. Did you never hear of it? When a guy runs a slant and you throw him the ball? Like, I don't understand why they can't. It makes no sense. And you can't say, oh, well, we don't have the guys that can do it or they don't get open. It's not true. Me and Green being pointed out. We point to the TV during the game and say, look, he's open. You could see it. You could see the guy come across the field open. And Zach is looking over here, which is his play. He's supposed to. He's looking here in his progression. Why isn't the play for Zach to snap the ball and throw the freaking ball 5 yards to the guy running the slant? Why is that not the play? Don't even give him the option to check down anywhere else. Just make it the play. Elijah Moore's going to line up in the slot, Berrios, whoever the hell it is, and they're going to cut across the field 5 yards, a quick slant, and you're going to throw them the ball. I don't understand why we can't do that. Every team in the NFL does that. Every team gets some amount of yards throughout the game. Every team gets a certain amount of yards throughout the game. It's like a base amount of yardage you get to have doing quick pass runs, quick pass routes. You can't do it every game because eventually they'll read it and they'll pick it off. They'll shut you down. It'll be a disaster. You can't do it every play. But a defense cannot be allowed to get away with everything. They get to give you that space and you don't take the yards. And they get to play back and make sure you don't get big plays. Like, you can't give them everything. You have to do it. If they're taking away the quick slant, that means they're cheating up. Then send our fast guys. We have 4 guys who can run. Mims runs a 4.3. Elijah Moore runs a 4.3. Garrett Wilson runs a 4.3, 4.4, whatever it is. Berrios runs a 4.3, 4.4. We have 4 guys who are Jets. Why don't we? I mean that not as a pun, but yes, Jets. And I mean it as Jets, meaning super fast. Why aren't we sending them then? It drives me crazy. So yes, I'm frustrated with LaFleur. But I'm not going to sit there and not be happy that we're 5-3. I'm not going to put it in perspective and say, but I can't do a better job than him. I can't. I know nothing. I don't know how to do the X's and O's and whatever. I couldn't do it. Yeah, I know I want to see the offensive competence, but it's going to happen. We're getting better. We're getting better. It's going to happen. Like Brayton, I'm just saying we have to be patient. It doesn't happen overnight. They're rookies. They're second-year players. Look at everybody in the league. It's an outlier to have somebody as a rookie that play well. Breece Hall was our outlier. He got hurt. Garrett Wilson is better than we even expected. It's like our offensive tackles are all hurt. I mean, it's not excuses. It's the truth. What team could sustain that? What team can sustain that? What team could you take away their 2 tackles and then take away the 2 guys to replace them? What team in the NFL has their 5th and 6th option at tackle are good and then take away their best running back and their best wide receiver? This is what we're dealing with. We're dealing with a team that's mostly 1st and 2nd year players, and we're beat up as hell. We're an infirmary. What do we expect? Tell me an NFL team that's in the league that can have those kind of injuries and not expect them to play at the same level. And it's not like it's Buffalo. We're not Buffalo. We're not a great team who could lose those players, and we still have a system we've been running for 5 years. We're not. We're in the 2nd year where it hasn't been a season and a half. And 1.5 seasons, we have rookies, sophomores. We have guys that are 23 and younger, half the team. And they're all hurt. Like, what do you expect it to look like? Look at other teams when they have injuries. They're horrible. They lose 8 games in a row when they're beat up. Look at Cleveland right now. We all thought they had such a good roster. Look at them. They stink. Why do they stink? Because they have injuries and because their quarterback is not consistent or whatever it is. Injuries. It changes things. You can't sit there and say, it's the Jets, it's the coaches. I mean, can we at least have our players before you judge them? Look what they were doing when we had players. When Breece Hall was healthy. And Max Mitchell was still in. Look how much better we were. And I understand, yes, we're not a great offense yet. I understand that. Even with them in there, because they're all kids. They're babies, and they're learning. But the flashes are there. The improvement is there. The talent is there. Right? It's there. It is. But we lost Becton when the season started. Right? Then we signed Dwayne Brown, and he gets hurt right away, and he misses time. Max Mitchell is in there. Fant is in there playing hurt. He's crippled. They finally pull him out. We can't go with him. Max Mitchell gets hurt. AVT, we move over to tackle left and to the right. He's playing. Then he's hurt, out for the season. Look how many guys. Dwayne Brown finally comes back, and we're playing a guy named Okoye or Aboye. I can't even say his name. That's our starting tackle. We got our backup guard because AVT is gone, and Herbig, who's a backup guard. He was brought in to play backup, and he's our guard. So now on that side, we have our 5th tackle, a guy we picked off the garbage heap, playing with Nate Herbig, a backup guard. That's what we have on the right side of our offensive line. On the left side of our offensive line, unfortunately, you can't blame the coaches. Tomlinson was a fraud because we thought we were getting an all-pro guard. Apparently, he took the money and he doesn't care anymore because he stinks. Or he's average, but he's not the same guy he was in San Francisco, and there's no excuse for it because it's the same system. Right? And then you look at the tackle on that side, Dwayne Brown, he's a hero because he's playing crippled. He needs surgery on his shoulder. He can't lift his hand above his head, and he's playing for us. That's our offensive line. That's our offensive line. That's who we have, guys. And we're sitting here at 5-3, yelling at our team, screaming as if we're this winning franchise and organization. As if the Jets haven't been the worst team in the NFL for the past 12 years. If we can't be happy at 5-3, what does it take? Can you tell me what it takes to be happy? What does it take when they win a Super Bowl? It's been 50 years for me. My whole life they haven't won a Super Bowl. That means I've never had the right to be happy as a Jets fan. That's what football fandom is, just being miserable. Only 1 out of 32 teams gets to feel happy. Like, I don't understand. We don't get to be happy that we had crap, and now all of a sudden we have a chance to make the playoffs. Even if we lose 5-4, Max Mitchell comes back. Then Fent comes back. We get our tackles back. Right? Corey Davis comes back. We're watching Sauce Gardner get better all the time. JJ's coming back. We're watching Quinn Williams have a career year. We're watching this team grow in front of our eyes. We come back after the bye week a little healthier. Suddenly, we have a legitimate shot at making the playoffs. And maybe not. Maybe we're going to fall apart and only win 8-9 games. But even then, with all the injuries, to still double our wins is amazing. Because eventually, guess what? Next year, Breece Hall's coming back. Next year, AVT's coming back. I'll say it now. I'll stand on an island alone. Becton's coming back, and he's going to be really good. Max Mitchell will be back, and he's only going to get better. He's really good. Dwayne Brown, we got locked in if we want him for another year. If he wants to play, I think he's going to want to play. We're going to be okay on the offensive line. AVT will go back to guard. Tomlinson, we don't know. We'll see if the guy ever decides to decide he wants to be a football player again. And McGovern is a better than average center. Maybe we make an upgrade. It doesn't matter. The point is, we're going to have guys. And it's like, and I don't care. I know everyone's going to say his career's over, blah, back then. I see you saying that mess. I don't care. I say no. I say you're all going to be proven wrong. I'll stand on the island alone. I will stand alone on Becton. I will stand alone. He's coming back. He's going to come back in shape. It's going to take him time to get in football shape, but he's going to come back looking good. He's going to be at the right weight. He's going to be healthy. If he gets hurt again, he can't help it. It's his knee. Like if he, an injury, that's not his fault. But all Becton could do is come back in shape, fit, thin, like what's thin for him. Like if he comes back at 360 and then uses camp to get into football shape, because you have to play to get into football shape. I saw what he could do his first year. Watch the tape. Don't tell me that Becton can't play football. And if he doesn't, we'll go with Max Mitchell and Dwayne Brown, whoever we pick up. Because I'm not saying we should rely completely on Becton. I'm just predicting that Becton will be there. That's my prediction. Okay? And it is all about wins. I don't care how we do it. I don't care if we look bad. Win, 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 win. It's all about wins. It's all about wins. This team has to learn how to win. We're getting better. We're filling in the positions. Eventually, the injuries have got to stop because they have to stop. They will stop. We're going to have like every other team, but it won't be as ridiculous as it is. Guys are going to come back. We're getting better. We have talent. We have people that are getting better. It's happening. We're getting better. Right now, they need to learn how to be a winning culture. I don't care how the wins come. Wins. Just win. Find a way to get to 9 or 10 wins. Find a way. If we get 9 wins, playoffs or not, it's a success. Wins. So then we could look and say we went from 4 to 9 wins. And then next year we start thinking about 12. That's what it is. It's about believing in yourself that you can win. All those second-year players are going to be third-year players. They're going to be ready to explode next year. Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson, they're not going to have to wait till years 3 because they're already exploding. Once we get that offensive line intact, we're going to explode. It will happen. I've watched Shanahan offensive system. I've watched this version of the West Coast offense. It's going to work. It works. It works for other teams, and we have the talent. There's no reason it won't work. There's no reason for it, unless LaFleur continues to not throw slants. But eventually, at some point, they'll fire him, and they'll bring in somebody else to run it. Or they'll get him a veteran coach that they were supposed to have, like George Knapp. They'll finally find a real replacement or someone who knows how to run this offense to help him out. But I am telling you, we are getting better. We could sit here and criticize and pick, and that's fine, about what we need to be great now and what we need to make the playoffs now and what we want to see happen now to win. That's fine. But in the big picture, don't lose the big picture. The big picture is we are much better. We are much better than we ever had the right to dream we could be exactly 2 years ago. If you go back exactly 2 years to 2020, where we were at this point, there was no possible way you could predict we'd be where we are. If someone told you 2 years ago that this team would be full of young, great, exciting players and we'd be 5-3, would you believe them? Did that seem even fathomable? For any educated fan out there that wants to be reasonable, you tell me that was even something you could fathom. Exactly 2 years ago. And guess what? Mims is imagine someone came to you 2 years ago. Hey, by the way, Mims is gonna not even be part of the team in 2 years. He's gonna be the WR5. He's gonna be happy to make it into Game 8 or Game 7 for the first time his whole season. And Becton will have missed 2 seasons and be pretty much written off as being a part of the team. So the two guys you have hope for right now on your team, on your shitty, crappy 0-8 team. That's 2 years ago. Your shitty, ridiculous team where you're praying to keep losing so you can get a quarterback and get the first round pick. Guess what? In 2 years, you're not going to get the first pick. You're not going to get Trevor Lawrence. But in 2 years, you're going to have a room full of wide receivers, 2 of them incredibly exciting and young. You're going to have 2 running backs, one really good and young and exciting, and the other one a potential franchise-changing running back. You're going to have competent tight ends in the room. They're going to be hurt, but you're going to have real offensive linemen. You're going to have a defensive line loaded with talent. You're going to have 2 of the best cornerbacks, maybe the best cornerback duo in the NFL. And that's all going to be in exactly 24 months from now. And yet you're going to be 5-3. And guess what? Half the fan base is going to be angry and pissed. Tell me I'm wrong. How am I wrong? Is that not true? Did I say anything that's not true? So you expected 2 years ago. There are people out there, Jet fans. There are Jet fans out there that thought 2 years ago that in exactly 2 years we were going to be a Super Bowl team? Like, is that what people think? That we were just going to go from 4-13 and be a Super Bowl team? I mean, at the time we were 0-7, 0-8. Were we thinking Super Bowl? Oh yeah, 2 years we'll be a Super Bowl team. You wouldn't take the deal of who we are right now 2 years ago? The Buffalo fan here will tell you. Dominique will tell you. Do you think Dominique thought in 2 years he'd be playing us and maybe with a little bit of respect, thinking, hey, I think we're going to win, but I respect this team. They got some talent. Do you think Dominique thought 2 years ago that the Jets would be 5-3 and he'd even have to be in here talking to us about it? And it wouldn't just be a give me game like that where there was no chance. They didn't even thinking about it. It was just going to be how many points are we going to score? Are we going to put 40 or 50 on these guys? He'll even tell you. Ask him about the Bills. Did the Bills go from when they were a shitty team? Did they just magically draft Josh Allen and by the year 2 they were a Super Bowl team? Ask him. Ask him who the Bills were the second year into their rebuild. Josh Allen's second year. Who were the Bills? Let him tell you. I mean, come on. What do they have to do? What do they have to do? Yeah, I know. And I'm not counting on Becton. It's so stupid to totally write him off. Like it doesn't make sense to say, oh, he sucks. He's a piece of shit. He's fat. He's never going to be part of the team. Like, why? Who cares? Why say that? Like, okay, we're not going to rely on Becton. We're not going to sit here and say, oh, Becton's going to play 17 games next year and we're going to be so good. Not saying that. I'm predicting he's going to come back and have a career. Because how often does a guy lose his whole career? He was back. He got his weight down. He got hurt again. I'm always going to be nervous that he's going to keep getting hurt. I'm always going to be nervous about his knee. And I'm not going to count on him. But don't be surprised. He's going to be at training camp next year. And if he's healthy, he's going to compete for a starting job because we saw what he did his rookie year. He's the best run blocking tackle we have on the squad. That didn't change. Didn't change. Let's see if we sign Fant, and that's going to tell you a lot about what JD is thinking and what we're thinking moving forward. And we'll see. But I'm waiting for somebody to tell me, yes, Jeremy, 2 years ago, I thought we were going to be better exactly 2 years ago than we are right now, that you expected better than this, and you're disappointed. I really want to, I really need to hear about that. I really need to hear how that was going to happen because I don't even know how this happened. I watched it happen player by player, draft pick by draft pick. I watched it happen, and I still don't know how it happened. I still don't know how we went from that team that we were 2 years ago to where we are right now, knowing that Mims has had this tiny bit of production that he's had, and that Becton's been out 2 years. When that was like the only hope we had in my mind. In my mind, that was what we had. We had Marcus May that I thought we'd re-sign or whatever at the time. I thought was a good player. He was never great, but he was good. We had Quinn Williams, who were hoping. Okay, so that was on the defense. And then on the offense, we had Mims and Becton. We know what happened to Mims and Becton. Marcus May is gone. If you would have told me the only guy left is Quinn Williams, that's real from that team, and 2 years later, what we would be if that's the only guy left, I would tell you we were a worse 0-8. And instead of being 0-8, we're 5-3 with all of that. I don't know how anybody could say that they expected better under those circumstances and can't celebrate this team that's 5-3, that actually has some respect around the league. Praise JD. Jeremy, you know we have toxic fans. I've heard all week Jet fans on their knees praising how great Buffalo is, and we don't have a chance. Look, I am predicting we're going to lose, right? But I'll never say we don't have a chance because it's the NFL. And I've seen enough upsets in my life. And anybody here that's, if you're not a teenager, if you've been a fan or football fan for any amount of years, you know that anything can happen on Sunday. You know it. Jacksonville beat the Bills last year. Jacksonville, the team that had the first pick in the draft this year, right? Did they? Yeah, I think they picked first. They beat the Bills last year. Don't forget that. You have to win the game on the field. Doesn't matter what it says on paper. It doesn't matter what we think. The players have to come out, and they have to score more points than us. Trevor Lawrence is almost as bad as Zach with much worse team. Doesn't get half the news stories because it ain't New York. Yeah, I mean, and I'm just being patient. I'm tired of arguing over like Zach Wilson. I don't care because like in 2 years we'll know the truth, and he's going to be a bust, or he's going to be okay, or he's going to be great, or whatever he is. I'm sick of arguing about it. It's like I realize now no one's going to be patient with any young player. Yeah. Thanks, Twisted. You get me excited. You get me revved up. You do it on purpose. You guys are like poking me like a bear to get me all revved up. But then you bring out some good stuff in me. So good. Better than you guys saying, wow, he becomes a real ass. I hate him. Jets needed 19 players 2 years ago. Douglas is phenomenal. Thank you, Joe. That's the point I'm trying to make. And Joe is a guy who brings the real. Joe is not a he's not a drink the Kool-Aid Jets fan. Joe is a real deal. Cynical guy, right? I mean, Joe puts down guys he puts down. Like he's not, but there's just at some point, like no matter what kind of fan you are, like, like and how much your expectation is at some point, you just recognize the reality. It's like the fact that we're here where we are is just outrageous. It's outrageous that we're a 5-3 team right now when you consider where we were 2 years ago. Yeah, when we were 1-2, Jet fans, I know we're writing them off this year. I love it when you guys tell me that's just Jet fans, Jeremy, because this is like now as a YouTuber, that's what I get to look forward to. That's what I signed up for. I'm gonna have to watch people attack them even when they're winning. Are we going to be like this if we like lose in the playoffs next year, like deep in the playoffs, and everyone's going to be screaming to fire everybody and mad? Oh my God. Yeah, man, it's nauseating. That's why I want Zach to work out so bad, Mr. Magics. That's why I want him to work out so bad, because I am so fed up with not having a quarterback. I'm so done with it. If we still had Brees, Zach would look better. I think so. I think that there's no way anybody could say like Brees Hall. Like I keep saying it, he's a franchise-changing player. It is a different team when he's not on the field. He's so good. And we were just seeing the beginning of it. That's what sucks. We were on the cusp. We were just seeing what we had. It's like, as Green Bean always says, it's like, why aren't we allowed to have good things? Because it seems like we're not allowed to have good things. Makes me crazy. So Jets crazy. Speaking of crazy. He's worried about MC carrying the load tomorrow. So am I. Have a feeling if Robinson is out tomorrow, we'll see Wilson throw 40-plus times. I hope not, because I think that they like Ty Johnson. So for whatever reason, they like him. I think we can give the ball to Michael Carter 20 to 25 times for one game. But also, if Zach has to throw 40 times, does it have to be deep? Can we do some screen passes, quick slants? Can we do some little short passes? Can we do something that's kind of like running plays, like easy 4 to 5 yard plays through the passing game? We'll see if LaFleur is capable of it. It's going to be hard, man. Buffalo's really good, guys. So just understand their defense is really good, and it might look ugly tomorrow. And that we're missing Breece Hall, and we're missing AVT, and we're missing guys, and we're playing the best. We're playing the best team. It's going to be hard. We're going to look bad, probably. If we don't look bad, then we should just jump up and down and be really happy if we don't look bad, because we're expected to look bad. We're not the only team that Buffalo makes look bad. Remember that. We're not the only team that Buffalo makes look bad. They make a lot of offenses look bad. So does Denver. So does New England. And so does Green Bay. All these defenses we've been playing, we're not the only ones to look bad. So everybody's got to just check, just relax. 5-3. If we win one of the next 2 games and go 1-1, and we're 6-4, and that means we've won 2 divisional games. That's where we'd be. 6-4. We've won 2 divisional games, and we'd be sitting in a position, when you look at our schedule, where we would very realistically have a shot at the playoffs. And that's without our superstar running back and our best offensive lineman. Without them. So we are 1 win out of the next 2 games away from being in a great, great spot. And I know everybody's scared we're going to be 5-5 and we're falling apart. But that hasn't happened yet. It didn't happen. We might end up 6-4. Just be positive. Think positively. Root for that. Hope for that. That's the part of being a fan that's fun. That's the part of the season where we still have hope. That's the part that's fun. That's the part you're supposed to enjoy. That we come up into a game and we're still in it. We're still in it. Be happy that we're still in it. We haven't been in it forever. 2015 was the last time we were in it. So please, just please be reasonable. It's like, for the love of God. Germany, they just have a top 5 defense. If they stick to running game, they will be a wild card team. Don't understand why the fan base is miserable. I know. The problem is we lost Breece Hall. That's the problem. And he was part of the reason we were a running team, because our offensive line has problems. But Breece Hall is special. And sometimes just having good running backs, if you don't have the offensive line, it's not good enough. We needed Breece Hall. We needed special. So Zach has to play better. We can't just be run. Zach has to step forward once we're through these games and we're playing the other teams like Detroit and Chicago, who's now without their top 2 guys. You know, they traded everyone away. And Jacksonville and Houston. We have to get play from Zach. Detroit, we're playing these teams that we can beat. Zach has to step up and play better. He has to. So we're not just running the ball. But yes, Daniel, theoretically, we could just be defense and running primarily, for the most part. And we should be able to scrape off wins that way, because we've watched a million teams in the NFL do it. Isn't it daylight savings time soon, guys? I saw something about daylight, so I was like, it just made me think that. Don't we have to put the hours fall back, right? Fall back, which means we've put the hour back at some point. I got to figure that out for tomorrow. I don't want to be like mess up Green Bean or something. But last year for the dreaded daylight slaying as well. Okay, that's what you were saying. Yeah, I guess it is. So it's tomorrow at like 2 a.m., right? Is it like 2 a.m. tonight? And then yeah, we always get the Sunday to adjust. It's not like on a work day. Bam Knight is activated tomorrow. He's the 3rd back. I don't know why this guy's not getting a chance. I really don't. But I think we'll definitely see him. We'll see him get a chance in special teams. Stop what, Sean? What are you talking about? Our fickle fans. Billy SBC, I want to see Bam Knight tomorrow. I would love to see him play. I really would love to see him play. I don't know why he hasn't gotten a chance. I honestly don't. I thought he had a great camp. So he had 2 big breakaway runs. He seems like a home run hitter. I don't know why we're not taking a chance with him. Maybe we'll get a shot. I like him better than Ty Johnson. I mean, Ty Johnson, by the way, has good plays. It's just that he's so hit and miss. And when he's bad, he's so bad. Any word on Von Miller? I don't know, but his ankle's messed up. So if he plays, he's not the same guy possibly. So, they're going to line him up over our guy, Aboye, or whatever his name is, or Ruru, or Rore, or nobody even can say his name. So that's interesting. It's a divisional game. And here run D wasn't impressive at all against Green Bay. And their run D wasn't impressive at all against Green Bay. Well, they won, though. I mean, we went into that game with a game plan, Sean, and that might not have been stop the run. It might have been more focused on controlling Aaron Rodgers. The bottom line is we held them to 10 points. We held them to 10 points. That's the bottom line. So whatever they did it well, and I'll take it again. Sometimes it's the game plan, right? And the game plan says, well, they're going to get some running. They're going to get some yards on us running. We're not going to stack the box. They're going to get some yards, but we're not going to let Aaron Rodgers pick us apart. And it worked. They got some running yards, but we didn't let Aaron Rodgers pick us apart. Now, you can't sit there and even the best defenses give up a drive and a touchdown. It happens. Even the best defenses give up a touchdown. So you just can't. We scored. Didn't we score a touchdown against Denver? I think we did. Right? We got a running thing. Running Breece Hall got a 50-yard run touchdown against Denver. You see? Great defenses give up touchdowns. So our defense is still going to give up touchdowns. It doesn't mean they're not great. Captain Josh Allen and our DBs will contain his receivers. Contain Josh Allen from running. Let the DBs contain his receivers. True. The Jets have a shot. Well, our linebackers have to play well. And our defensive line has to play well and be alert for the screen passes and all that good stuff. But yeah, these are matchups that work for us, right? Our secondary, we're always going to have a good matchup. Secondary, our defensive line, and our secondary is our strength of the whole team. Sauce, Reed goes as the backup. Michael Carter II is the slot cover guy. And our defensive line, that's the strength of the team. So we're always going to look to that part of our team if we expect to win. But the other parts, that's the given. That's what makes us a football team, right? Those are the 2 rooms that make us a football team. Whether we win or lose and how we play as a team is the other pieces. If our defense is going to have a great game, we already know we got the defensive line and the cornerbacks. The question is, are the linebackers going to play well? The question is, are the safeties going to play well? And then, for offense, we know we got the weapons. It's the offensive line, and it's Zach making good decisions. That's what determines the game for us. Those are the variables outside of those strengths that define whether we could win games or lose games. Now, with Buffalo, we're probably going to need the best everywhere. Our linebackers and safeties are going to have to play well. Zach Wilson's going to have to make great decisions and be accurate. That's 2 big asks, something he hasn't been able to do all the time. And our offensive line is going to have to hold up. And we're probably going to need help from our special teams. So this is how you beat Buffalo. Everything has to be aligned, right? We're going to need our best team. We're going to need our A team. We're going to need it to go well. And I understand we haven't seen a lot of that. We have not seen a lot of our A team. We don't play complimentary football very often, and we certainly don't play for 60 minutes very often. Well, if we want to beat Buffalo, teams like Buffalo, we're going to have to play for 60 minutes. We're going to have to do it. Tomorrow's going to have to be the game. where all the chips fall in the right place. But we're pissed off. We had a bad loss. It was an ugly loss. We're upset about it. And I think there's a chance that that's what we're focused on doing, that we're going to come out and we're not going to make stupid penalties. And we're not going to make stupid bonehead decisions. And we're going to play a good game. I mean, and as a fan, that's what we're supposed to hope for and believe, because we're fans. What's the point of being a fan if you can't believe it's possible? What's the point of watching the game? If you're someone that says we have no chance and we can't win tomorrow, why are you watching the game? Go do something tomorrow. It's Sunday. Go out and have yourself a day. Why watch the game? I don't get it. Just going to upset you because they're going to lose, right? I wouldn't watch the game if I knew we were going to lose. Why would I do this? It's a waste of my time. I tell my wife, let's go out to a brewery or a brewery garden. Like, why would I sit there if I knew they were going to lose? Yet I'm going to be sitting here. I'm going to be up. For me, it's 10 in the morning, so I have to get up early and get ready. I'm going to be here ready to go. Why? Why? Because I'm a fan and I want to win. I'm going to be here with Green Bean on his channel, and I'm going to be hoping the Jets win. That's what a football fan does. And I know it's going to be hard, and I know that it's going to be an upset if we do. But that's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping for an upset. I'm hoping they surprise me. I hope they win, even though you know what I mean? Like I've seen it before. I'm sure all of you as football fans have experienced that in your life at some point in your life. At some point in your life, you didn't expect us to win the game, and we won the game, right? So did anybody expect to beat the Rams 2 years ago? Did anybody really believe we were going to beat Cincinnati with Mike effing White? It happens. Jewish stuff. Where do you live, Jeremy? London? No, man, I'm in Sacramento. Everybody knows that. I'm in California. I don't live in London. Why? Because I have that flag? Phil Adams got me that flag. My British brother. That's where that flag is from. If I was from London, I'd talk like this. I'll be eating chocolate and I wouldn't get upset at all. I'd be saying that. No, that doesn't sound very British, does it? We got to run. I don't care if you Strevler in the Wildcat. I think that would be fun, but it's never worked. Just saying. Barney heard it from JD's wife last night. And by the way, if we ran the Wildcat with Strevler, that's what the Denver was winning with what's his face? You know, the guy. Thou who must not be named, Tebow. Denver was winning games. And everybody was saying, oh, but he stinks. He just runs the ball. Blah, blah, blah. You can't sustain a winning team like that. And now everybody's saying, use Strevler. And if we use Strevler and he threw 12 times or 18 times and completed a few passes, but we won the game because he was running the Wildcat and running the ball, every Jet fan would be pissed off and unsatisfied because they'd say, yeah, but he can't pass. So who are we fooling? I like Sacramento. I don't love the summers. 3 months a year, it's hard. 9 months out of the year, I love it. There's still got a lot of work to do on the restaurants and the food, but we have enough that we can get by. And I know how to cook good Italian food, and we have enough to get by. But they've got some ways to go, but it's happening. Sacramento is one of those growing cities where new places keep opening up, and we love being able to just drive over to Napa Valley. We love being able to, on a Sunday morning, we get up early. Sometimes we drive into San Francisco, park the car because it's Sunday parking right by the. We get there early enough that we can get a spot right by the piers, and we walk down the piers of San Francisco and Ghirardelli and Pier, whatever, like, the whole thing, Pier 39, the whole San Francisco experience. We could do that if we want. That's an easy drive, hour and 15 minutes on a Sunday morning. Lake Tahoe, hour and 25 minutes if there's no traffic, and we leave it at a weird time. So it's cool, and it's a nice little town in its own right. Your brother lives in the Bay Area. I used to live in the Bay Area. I lived in San Jose. I lived in Mountain View. I lived in Palo Alto. In the late 90s, I lived all over the Bay Area. And in the beginning, 2002 to 2006, I lived in the Bay Area. I've went back and forth a few times, but the Bay Area used to be my jam. Lando, always coming in late now. I was watching your video from Friday when I saw this. Lando, you're one of my big members. What's going on? Michael Lando is a snacker. That's right. That means when he went to the homepage of my channel, he saw a little button that said join. And let me tell you, for a few bucks a month, you basically become a sponsor of the channel. You keep this thing going. You keep it going. So I appreciate that. It's my members basically, like they pay my StreamYard bill. It's nice to not have that bill. Like, I'm putting all the work in to do the channel. It's nice to have a little revenue stream that takes care of paying for the cost of the channel. And then a lot of you have given me nice super chats and things like that. And that pays for the studio lights and all those cool things. So I appreciate it. So thank you to my members. I can't tell you how grateful I am. I appreciate very much. Helps the channel. So yeah, the Bay Area is better than Sacramento because the weather is a little better, much better in the summer, especially. It doesn't get as hot most of the time. And the Bay Area has better food. To be honest, there's a lot going on over there. I love the Bay Area, and I got friends out there, so I like to go visit sometimes. It's only, I get to San Jose in about an hour and 40 if I leave at a good time. It's all about when you leave. You know how that works. Always a thumbs up. But thank you, brother. Maybe a Madden simulation game will predict the game. I doubt it. It'll have us losing by 80. I love that. I see Vern saying we'll rise up, and I hope that we do. You know who I miss? I see Vern. It reminds me of him. I miss John from Jets Today. I miss his optimism. I miss his calmness. Like he was really good at putting things in perspective and staying positive and staying logical and reasonable. I hope he brings his channel back. I don't know if it's permanent or not, but it's been longer than I thought. I really thought he'd be back much sooner. I didn't really believe that he was going away like it was going to be a significant time. I thought he meant a few weeks because it's so hard to believe because he put so much work into his channel. But these are the times where I miss him because he would be such a voice of reason. And he would be saying what Vern is saying. He'd be saying, let's rise up. He'd be enthusiastic because that's what we need to do. And that's what our Jets, we're like, we need our fans. We can't have our fans going to the stadium thinking we're going to lose. We can't have our fans going to the stadium negative and down. It's a home game. We need our fans to come in and rock that stadium. We need to rock that stadium. We need to make it shake. That's a part of how we could win. We can't let Josh Allen sit in shotgun and hear him, and everybody hears him. We got to make it loud and hard to hear. We want to make him call a timeout because he has to avoid a delay of game. We want to impact the game. We can't do that unless we think the way Vern is thinking, the way we're thinking, the way Michael is thinking. We have to think positive. We have to have hope. We have to sit there and cheer and go crazy and believe in our team. And you better get used to it because this is just the beginning. This is the first year in so long, and it's the beginning of many good years. So change the narrative now. Believe it. We're going to be winning now. We're going to be competitive moving forward. Our fan base has to come along. We have to put the past behind us like the team has done. The team has put the same old Jets behind us. They've done it. We as a fan base have to put it behind us. Let it go. And cheer for our team and appreciate the players we have now and the effort that they're giving and the excitement that they're creating. Enjoy it. Learn how to be a football fan again. Remember why you love being a football fan to begin with. Because before all the losing, there was winning. There was excitement. Let's allow yourself to go back to that again. It's going to happen. We're doing it with all the injuries. Imagine what happens. Everything sways to the mean. Everything regresses back to the mean, which means there's going to be a day where we have less injuries than the average team. So if we can do this and hold this team together while we're missing so many key pieces, what's going to happen when the core of this team stays healthy? Put yourselves in a position to enjoy it. They wrote us off. We won't be writing back, but we ain't writing back. Damn straight. Damn straight. Hughes Johnson, let's go Jets. That's what I want to see. Let's go Jets. Let's go. Let's win. Let's try. Let's do everything we can. Let's root for them to win. Let's hope we win. Let's believe we can win. It's a game. It has to be played. If we lost already, if we couldn't win, there wouldn't be the point of playing the game. Let's watch the game. Let the game start. We got nothing to lose. We're expected to go out and get crushed. So let's just watch it and hope that it doesn't happen and that we force it into the fourth quarter and keep it close and frustrate them and a miracle happens and we win the game. Think of how good we can feel. We're so close to such an incredible experience. Because if we win that game, we're going to come back after the bye and we're going to crush New England. I'm telling you, if we win this game, we will crush New England because we're going to believe in ourselves. And we'll end up 7-3. And then you'll see what it's like to be excited. Everybody's beatable. Everybody's beatable. Everybody. Only one team has ever went completely undefeated to the end. One team has done it. And that was almost 50 years ago. So yes, every team is beatable. We can do this. I'm praying to the power of John and yesterday, and Buffalo, and Green Bean. And I take all those guys, Jake Osmond, Richie, and you know Richie believes, baby. And Ian, you know Ian believes. Take and harness all of that positivity from all of these guys. We're all here working and bleeding our bones, working to talk Jets and to create good content and believe and love this team. Right? And Ryan, don't forget Ryan and Matt O'Leary. All of us are believing that we can come in and somehow win this game. Join us. New York Sack Exchange, Brooklyn Sack Exchange, and all of the Jets Lounge. They're believing. They want the family to be united. Jets family, be united. Put the positive vibes out there and let's root for our team to win. Let's get together and take this game. Let's will it to happen. Will it to happen. Just will it to happen. Believe it could happen. Watch the game and root your asses off and scream and yell. And believe. Jets forever, man. We give him such a hard time. We bust his chops, but you know what? At least Jets forever believes. He believes. That's a real fan. He believes. For the love of God, all of you believe. I'm so pumped up right now. We're going to freaking come out there and we're going to play and we're going to show the world who we are. Tomorrow, me and Green Bean. And when we win that game, I'm going to reach through my computer. I'm going to grab Green Bean's beard and I'm going to pull him. I'm going to pull his face out of my screen. I'm going to give him a big wet kiss. That's what's going to happen. Guys, thanks for joining me. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday night. I got to go eat something, have some dinner. I don't know, do something. But thanks for coming around. Thanks for hanging out. I will see you tomorrow. I'll be on Green Bean Jets Fan. And I will be going absolutely ballistic tomorrow. Check this out. Greatest co-host in the world. Y2K99. Get ready to rumble!
The tag team champions of the world.
back.
That is the best intro I have ever received.
The The Buffalo Jets back.
Yo.
George Fant is a barely above replacement level, pretty good left tackle.
How can you say
Compare
that when
that
he
to
was
an-
top 3 in sack percentage last year for left tackles?
And I think when in doubt, until you have better reason, go with the optimistic view. And our defensive line is going to be giving a lot of people some trouble.
But yeah, it's got to be. I'm with you. I don't like the Nathan's fries when they're like floppy. It's got to be like done really well. You know, it's very hard to teach 6'3" and 4.3 speed. That's very rare. The talent's there. He's just got to put it together mentally.
Right.
To get
You're a
on
cheater.
to you. I'm a cheater.